plan, and I haven't tried this yet, so I'm learning right in front of you. Awesome. I am going to try to change my vinyl windows to look like the blue in this room. Okay, I've got a lot of things I want to say about this. I'm hearing from a lot of you that I should just use black electrical tape. Yes, I have seen that, and I think that works if you want black windows in your house. And let me just take a little rabbit trail here and tell you what I think of black windows. I know they're very trendy, they're very beautiful, I do love them. They are trendy, and they are going to stay around for a long time. So if you're trying to decide if you want to get black windows, I am going to be one who says don't go that direction. You could spend $30,000, $50,000 on windows for your house. And if they're black from the outside, that's one thing. It's not as difficult to work around, but if they're black on the inside, number one, you can't use any window treatments. I mean, if you look at the inspiration pictures, you'll see nobody puts window treatments over those black windows. And then number two, you have to decorate with black in that room that shows the interior black window in there. I don't think that it's gonna last beyond probably 10 years. So I would not buy the black windows myself. Now back to this issue. I have vinyl, white vinyl windows in here. And so we're not gonna do black anyway. And I don't want to paint them because I change this room often. About every 5 years, this living room changes. So I need to do something that is temporary, but is very blue. I want it to match. I mentioned this to my husband, and he just got that look in his eye like, I have no idea why you would do that or what you're talking about. And so I just stopped talking about it. So this is also something that I want to say to you. Sometimes in your marriage, you just do things. Okay, so there are times to, share the whole vision and get his help and his input. And other times it's a small enough job. It's best to save him for the really difficult things that you actually need help with, and go ahead and just do the temporary, inexpensive, kind of crazy things that you want to do, and then see if he likes it. I mean, that's what I do around here. So I'm gonna do it all. He caught me the other day with some of the stuff I was bringing in, and he was like, I could tell his wheels were turning. So I might be caught already, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and then I'm just gonna have him walk in and be like, so hey. And then if he hates it, you know what? I'm gonna take it all off. I'm just going back to the vinyl windows, and we'll start over. But this is my thought. I have purchased matte contact paper, and I am going to paint it with a primer, probably my Zinsser primer, and then my blue paint. That is what I'm going to do for the frame area. Then for these crossbars, I am going to do, I got a couple ideas. I went to Home Depot, this is what he caught me with. I went to Home Depot and I got this, it's called screen mold. It's just a flat, here, let's see if I can do this. Oh gosh. Trying to, I don't know if I can do this. I want to show you the end. See, it's just real flat. Okay, I don't know if you saw that. I have that, and it's a little bit wider than these bar areas. But then I was just out in my shop, and look what I found. And honestly, this is what I was looking for originally at Home Depot. I don't know when I do enough projects around here, I forget what I'm doing. So this was a project that I ended up maybe it was my TV screen that I made for my Samsung. I bought this. See that detail? Okay, that's extra fancy. Now they didn't have any of this at Home Depot. So I could call around and stuff. I have to decide which one do I want. I'm gonna prime and paint this, measure it, and then I bought these clippers. I'm not even gonna use a saw. I bought these special trim clippers, and you can use it for picture molding. I'm just gonna clip it. and use double-sided sticky tape and put these in place. Works in my head. So I'm all set up. I did decide to use this screen mold because I feel like it's not as thick, or it's not gonna, the profile is not as high, so I can open the windows easier. So I've got my Zinsser primer, and not very much in there, but I'm gonna do that over the contact paper and the wood trim, and then I'll follow it up with the Slate tile. It's the emerald urethane trim enamel. Okay, so I just realized that the primer I'm using is oil-based, and I, like a dork, added water to it to thin it instead of paint thinner. So now I've ruined the can, and I'm gonna go get another primer. Meanwhile, I'm getting more distracted. The mail came. Look what we got. I think this is upside down. No, I think I had it right. This is our designer fabric for the pillows in the living room. I don't remember which one this is. Oh, and then this is another pillow fabric. Love this fabric. This is from Wayfair. I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful texture. Look at that. Those two undertones are perfect together. All right, we've got some sewing ahead of us. Okay, we're back on track. It's going a little better. I've got Ben primer, which is also oil-based, or something based. I have to use alcohol to clean it up. So Colby came over and totally saw what I'm doing, right? And said, why don't we just paint the vinyl windows? But I want to try this first. So I have this thing for trying to, beat the system in temporary decorating situations. So rentals, military housing, dorm rooms, things like that. I am fascinated with trying to figure out how to make them look good and then be able to take everything down, right? So this is just along those lines. You paint your own contact paper and then use it like wallpaper, whatever else you want to do. There's a whole section in my Elite Decorating Academy that is about temporary decorating, and it was such a blast to teach. Okay, if you are in this situation, and I mean, even situations where you need to make something look really good for an event, a wedding or something, but you need to take it all down. Maybe you can't put holes in the wall, something like that. These are the kinds of things that you do. And some of my favorite YouTubers that you will want to follow if you're wanting to learn more about temporary decorating are Lone Fox, does really good stuff. DIY Dahlia, that's who really got me interested in that whole style of decorating. And Pretty in the Pines, oh my gosh. So all of them have lived in apartments and completely made them over. Completely transformed them. And then move out and undo all of it. And it's just phenomenal. I'm so fascinated by people that can do that stuff. It's starting to get dark out, so I'm gonna find a good stopping spot right here. But a couple things that I just are on my mind that I want to share with you is to use a chip brush, so you can just throw it out. You don't have to wash your brush. And then I really wish I would have gotten a spray primer for these trim pieces. That would have been a lot easier. Just spray them. But using the chip brush to brush the contact paper worked great. And yeah, we're gonna let this dry. Oh, it is a gorgeous day. So everything dried so well. I think this is gonna work. I now am going to add my blue and let that dry. I've already sanded my trim and then we're gonna assemble it. So far, so good. I really hope this works because I feel like it will open up a whole new world with changing out your window trim and making it any color you would possibly want. I'm excited about the potential of this project working well because then you could change your window trim out to any color, you know, that you could want. The reason I'm not excited about painting my trim is because it never quite is the same again. I mean, I could paint it over again. I could paint it white again, but you know, along the edges, you can kind of see it peeling. It gets like a little crusty, or I don't know. It's not quite ever the same again. So I'm hoping that we can just do this and then take it off when we are done with this color in that room. I've painted all of the contact paper that I think I need, and I've painted the trim. 2 coats, everything's ready. I'm gonna start with just a strip that's a little bit bigger than what I need, and I'm gonna just work my way in this first section. I'm gonna do inside, so I'll do 3 strips inside, and then we'll get to the fun part, and we'll add that trim over the crossbars. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna do the latch, but we'll get to that. And then the last step will be, you know, the outside of the frame. Okay, here we go. The paint is coming off in sheets. It's kind of working, except for that part, which is not working at all. So I'm thinking either it was a primer issue or it was just, I need to get a different type of contact paper. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna touch it up in place. That is something that I would say to you. Before I actually create this as a tutorial and I tell people what to do, I have to make all the mistakes, and then I can tell you what to do. I think that the paper should go, you need to get a good paper, and the paper needs to go in place first, and then you paint it. Okay, let's do the crossbars. Okay, so contact paper is not working, but this is working. So let's just spend a moment on the good news. So I marked my trim, and then I got my clippers and line it up. A regroup session. We have good news and bad news. The contact paper is indeed flaking like crazy. I might be able to just paint that really nice Sherwin-Williams paint straight on the contact paper, but even so, it's really difficult. All the angles, the little latch and everything, it's getting really complicated to wrap with that thick of a paper. It's thick. It's like as thick as duct tape. So I am ready to scrap that idea. It was worth a shot, but I feel like plan B would be better, and yeah, it might not look as good when we repaint those windows white later, but it sure as heck is gonna look better than what I'm doing right now. So that's the bad news. Good news is that the crossbars, what are those things called? I keep like wanting to say munions or something like that. Let's see here. Muntin. They're called muntins. Those are working really well. And so that is the good news. I think I'm just going to try to paint the vinyl frame part, and then for the muntins I'll use the trim that I painted. Okay, I need to call and ask Colby if I can paint those windows because my idea is not coming together like I wanted.
Hello?
Hi. Hey, I've running into some trouble with the contact paper idea. You were right. It started to flake off really bad, and so even if I could go back and paint it without the primer, I still am not going to be able to there's just so many angles, and the paper is so thick, and there's the latch, and it's it's really, really hard. So my question is it okay if I paint the frames?
It is okay. I feel like we should really take a look at that, because you got the gutters and you got where the track, how the window slides, and there's just so many things involved.
No.
Because it's moving too. Well, it makes me a little bit. I mean, because those windows move, if you paint them, it'd probably look good for a week until you start moving.
Okay. Well, let's look at those when you get back.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Love you.
Okay. Yep.
Get back.
Bye.
To be continued.